Hello and welcome to another update video for Bitcoin. So for Bitcoin, I actually don't need to change the chart. The only thing, due to the U-turn today, I only have to relabel here the last bit a little bit. I will explain to you, yeah, nothing is changing actually on this higher level wave count at the moment, yeah. So we are currently looking here at Bitcoin and we are still following the scenario, the bullish scenario, where we say Bitcoin has a chance to create and to fulfill this bullish scenario with a chance of 60%. A 60% probability, which means basically that I'm leaning towards the bullish scenario. It's still quite a balanced view at the moment because there is still the realistic possibility that we will also make a lower low below 17.6k, especially as long as we are below 25,755. Why is that? That is basically because we can still count all of this bearish as a WXY pattern, and the ideal target for a wave Y would be 25,755. A move above that would not completely invalidate all bearish patterns and eliminate the risk of lower lows, but it would make it less likely. Okay. Overall, today we saw a U-turn here. The CPI data came in at 8.5%. As I said to you in the previous video, if we see the CPI come in below 9.1%, that was the bullish scenario, we're probably going to see some upside and might understand that as a catalyst to continue to move higher. So in that sense, yeah, we came in way below 9.1%, and that also explains this pump to the upside. Okay, so nothing unusual. Yes, of course, volatile, but I talked about volatility in the previous video, so again, you should have been prepared. Plus then the lower than expected inflation, because it was even lower than many banks expected. A lot of banks and financial institutes expected a reduction in the inflation, but not, I think, 8.5%. That was quite significant. Shows you though that the inflation increase is reducing and slowing down. And yeah, that basically is just a catalyst to continue further in this overall bullish scenario. Nothing has changed. It has only reversed to the upside a little bit earlier than expected. So where are we here on the Bitcoin chart? So again, we talked about this before here. I don't go through all of it again. The 1-2 setup here, another 1-2, another 1-2. This hasn't changed at all for now. Again, CPI came in below 8.5%, or no, at 8.5%, so imminently bullish. What we didn't play out is the micro count here, where I did expect here, based on the wave count here, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there could have been a wave 5 down. But I told you if we break above this trend line, it could also be that the move to the downside is over and that we're already moving up. So this was an important level here. A breakout above this descending trend line could have ended and, yeah, well, basically now made this move down unlikely. And we have, at the moment at least, we have to assume that this wave 2 was already in. So all that happened was that we did not retrace as much as expected. Now we are reversing to the upside a little bit earlier. And that is what we have to, at the moment, assume. So let's first take a look at where we actually are here. Let's just complete this 5-wave move count to the downside, and that is what I explained in the previous video. It could also be just that 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So that was one of these scenarios we talked about earlier today, and then I have to assume that this wave C was over already and the wave 2 a little bit higher than the ideal target area. But overall, it doesn't change anything in the overall count. And maybe a little bit of education for everybody who's not that familiar with Elliott waves and how news can influence charts. So as I say very, very often, unless really something completely disastrous happens, something completely unexpected, what usually happens when news are, certain unexpected news, yeah, nothing major, but news like this today, yeah, where we had a lower than expected inflation rate, things like that, they can distort charts. So basically waves can act a little bit more extreme. For example, if there are bearish news, a current wave pattern can max it out to the downside. For example, if there are bullish news, it might reverse to the upside earlier. which it did today. Yeah, I explained in the previous video as well. A wave C, even though it's ideal to go lower than the wave A, but it doesn't necessarily need to go below the wave A. And I think this is what we currently see, at least this is what we currently have to expect, that the wave 2 was already finished here, so basically completed another 1-2 setup, and that we are now continuing in the move up. This is valid as long as we stay above 22,676 now. Yeah, but as you can see, the news event here today had a rather short-term effect. Yes, it distorted the very short-term wave count a little bit, but overall in this 1-2 setup and in the overall bullish scenario here, it is completely unchanged. So we can now expect or assume that there's two possibilities now, basically. Yeah, two possibilities. Or two key possibilities I would follow. One possibility that in this move to the upside, we have already seen here a wave 1, we have seen a wave 2, and we have seen a wave 3, and this would be a wave 4, even though we come down quite strong. So I probably will tell you just now that this is actually a little bit too much for a retracement, for a wave 4. Just adjust, this is the wave 2, this is the 1. But let me see, because we can retrace 50%. No, it's not too weak. It's not too strong for it's we just reached exactly the 50% fib retracement. That is sort of the maximum I would allow this wave 4 to do. If we go lower than the $23,500 level, I would argue it's not a wave 4 anymore. It is then probably a 1-2 and another 1-2. Or I count all of this as a wave 1, and this is just a wave 2 here to the downside again. Again, as long as we are holding 22,600 and what did I say, 55 roughly, 22,670 it is. This low now needs to hold, this wave 2 low, yeah, and then we can focus on higher again. Should we lose it? Yeah, if we lose it, then what is this? Then we go quite a bit lower, because what do I have to expect then? If we drop below 22,670 now, it means that this wave 2 and this wave C was never finished, that we indeed are still fulfilling that wave count that we talked about earlier today, and that the CPI data only led to a fake out, because it means that this was only a wave 1, this here is the wave 2, we come down next in a 3, move up in a 4, come down in a 5. Possible as long as we stay above 20,700. That would sort of be the more bearish alternative, but overall it would still be possible and still be embedded in this overall bullish wave count. Yeah. So at the moment, the space just highlights the ongoing uncertainty here. After such a move like today, we want to see the dust settling a little bit and see if we go lower than 20,500. Even that wouldn't be a problem. It would be one for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern, but ideally we hold above that 22,670 level. So if this scenario is due to play out, then we should now see a move up in a wave 5 that should end somewhere above 24,180. An ideal level for that would be the next swing high, of course, here around 24,240. Okay, yeah, and that is currently my update here about Bitcoin. And by the way, this wave 5 then would be a wave 1 again. Yeah. But be aware, these micro counts, as I always say, they are more fragile than the higher level counts. As you can see with the move today, basically those lower level counts were to a degree invalidated, but the higher level wave count is still completely intact and unchanged. Alright, so yeah, hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.